Hi, this is Ryan from hempstrategies.com, and I have recently moved to California. Been in Washington and working on different cannabis-related issues and freedom-related issues. Well, for the last 13 years, really. I started with Initiative 691. I worked on Initiative 1098 or 1068 last year, and then I worked on Initiative 1149 this year. I feel very good about the work I've done. I wish that I've done more, but I've done what I could do while I maintain raising a family. And I've got two kids and one on the way, and I have to work. So I end up working graveyards, and I don't get a lot of time in the daytime to do anything really productive because I do have to sleep sometimes. But one thing I have done, and one thing that I'm very proud of because I believe in this cause, is I've worked on the National Initiative for Democracy, and I believe that this is the only way to get rid of prohibition. I think these state initiatives are a good step, but even with these state initiatives, as we see in California, Rhode Island, Montana, Colorado, and especially Washington recently with the raids on several dispensaries, is that state law only does so much because of the U.S. government supremacy laws via the Sixth Article and other other like the 14th Amendment and other provisions in our Constitution. So we can pass a lot of local state laws, but we can't really do anything to completely protect ourselves. So say that we revise our medical marijuana laws in Washington, and say, for example, SB 5073 passed exactly how patients wanted it to. Say that they didn't veto all the good provisions and leave all the bad provisions. Say that they just only left the good provisions, and that we had this SB 5073 to protect patients in dispensaries. Do you think that the federal government couldn't do anything about it still? Of course they can. They can come in and raid us and take our medicine and take our patient records and still hurt this community because the federal government has supremacy clauses in the Constitution that override state law. So all these people who think that that's the end all be all is just protecting patients' rights, that's not going to happen in a state, on a state level, whether it be a people's initiative or whether it be on a House bill or Senate bill. Whether it be for full legalization or whether it be for medical only or whether it be for hemp, medical, and social medical or marijuana use. It's still not going to protect us from the federal government. The only reason that I support, a national referendum is because only 24 states have a ballot initiative process. Anyway, so even if states had, complete protection from the federal government on the laws they pass, there's only 24 states that can pass a ballot initiative. There's 26 states that are left out of that process. The National Initiative for Democracy lets us address things on a federal level with direct democracy, and we can make a people's initiative federally. And that can be something we use to end the Controlled Substances Act. I've been accused of not doing so much because I work at night and I'm only up in the daytime for a few hours, so I don't get a lot of signatures or I don't do a lot of this, I don't do a lot of that. I mean, we do what we could. We got hundreds of signatures for Initiative 1149. We set up 14 businesses with petitions to help that cause, so that they're getting signatures continuously, and they know how to get more and more petitions, and they know how to send those petitions in. And we gave 250 plus T-shirts away and rewarded some of the volunteers with gifts that were getting massive signatures. I mean, we did what we could. You know, albeit it wasn't a lot. It was as much as I could do with the situation that I've got. Yeah, I have kids. I have a family. I got to put those people first. They're the most important things to me. They're the most important priorities in my life. But I get thousands and upon thousands of people signing up with the National Initiative for Democracy, which you can do online. And that's the greatest thing about this, is that this isn't limited to, a piece of paper and a pen. You can go online and sign this, and it's legal. You can read about it at the National Initiative for Democracy website. Go to www.ni4d.us. That's ni, the number 4d.us. And that is it's the best thing I can think of to do to end the federal prohibition on marijuana, and as well as address other issues like the Patriot Act and other things. I mean, I'm a freedom fighter. I'm not just a cannabis activist. I've been fighting for freedom. I've been concerned about my freedom for a lot of years. Recently, we saw the Federal Reserve lose $9 trillion, and they don't have any accounting for it. We need national referendum. All these, small state initiatives do some good to help protect people, but obviously they're not completely protected even with these even with these state initiatives or state bills and things in the legislature that we pass, because the federal government overrides those things. So I continue to point people to this. We've gotten I have 4 different YouTube accounts, and between those 4 different accounts, we've gotten about 500,000 views. Not all of those are leading people to the National Initiative for Democracy, but I'm trying to lead more and more of those videos through that process. I'm putting annotations in my videos to show people the website to go to figure this out. So let me just show you the National Initiative for Democracy. This is the website right here. And I just wanted to show you, I'm hoping this is getting the right angle. Show you this video presentation. You can see this on their website. So if you want to just turn this off now and go to the website directly, I recommend checking this video out so you can see what I'm talking about here. This is very important.
Democracy, a government by the people, especially rule of majority. A government in which the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised by them directly or indirectly through a system of representation, usually involving periodically held free elections. In the United States, we have a representative democracy. This means that we elect representatives and empower them to make laws which run the country. Each and every election day, we give away our power to these representatives. It's the power to make laws. Lawmaking is the central power of government. It is by making laws that the government acts or reacts. But what if you don't like the laws? We have a democracy, right? Won't my representative act in my best interest? That depends. It depends on whether it's in their interest. Remember, they have the power, and you gave it to them. Is this fair? No, not really. But what if you could participate in the process of lawmaking? Only the Congress decides which laws to consider, and only the President can sign them into law. So where does that leave you? Nowhere. You don't have any power, remember? You gave it away on Election Day. What if we could have the same power of lawmaking? 24 states and several other countries allow laws to be passed by initiative. The National Initiative is an act and an amendment to the Constitution that allows you to participate in the process of lawmaking. It gives you the same power as the government, the power to make laws. I bet you're thinking, but what if we make a bad law? What if we pass something totally unconstitutional? The Supreme Court is there for just this purpose. We too must abide by the courts, and we are only another leg in the system of checks and balances. But what about Congress and the President? There's no change there. The National Initiative does not change the way the representational government works. Laws can still be passed by the government. The National Initiative does not replace this process. It adds to it, like adding a third house to Congress. We, the people, will have the same power as the Congress and the President. Is this fair? You decide. You'll have to, because Congress and the President won't do this for you. It's not in their interest. It gives you power. So if Congress isn't going to pass the National Initiative into law, and if the President won't sign it, how will the National Initiative ever happen? The Constitution was created by the people, and if we created it, we can change it. so it's really that simple. We, the people, vote for the national initiative, and when a majority of Americans say yes, it becomes a part of the Constitution. It couldn't be simpler. So is that fair? You decide. You'll have to, because nobody else will decide this for you. The Democracy Foundation, a non-profit organization, has an undertaking to register your decision. Named after the first Constitutional Convention, which took place in Philadelphia on September 17, 1787. Philadelphia, too, is a constitutional convention of the people. On the National Initiative website, you can vote for or against the National Initiative. Sounds easy, doesn't it? After you vote, your vote will be manually verified to ensure accuracy. Still sound easy? It's an immense undertaking, but there's no other way. We hope you visit the National Initiative website and decide for yourself. www.ni4d.us.
We used to donate to a lot of the local legalization causes, donated almost $600 to Normal. We had a causes group, causes.com group. We donated $96 last year to the the Normal Women's Alliance. We sent a lot of money to other causes. We used to get booths at Hemp Fest, and we hopefully will again get booths at Hemp Fest, but for the most part, our money is going to be going to this Democracy Foundation. So the beneficiaries of our fundraisers and our causes have been switched now to the Democracy Foundation, and we just gave our first donation of the year to the Democracy Foundation a couple days ago, and we're going to continue to give more. And we believe in this cause 100%. And like I said, for patients or for cannabis consumers or for freedom fighters, for people who believe in liberty, the National Initiative for Democracy, as far as I can see it, is the only way. Like I said, there's only 24 states that has an initiative process. How are the rest of these states going to get medical marijuana or legal cannabis, period? If they don't have an initiative process, we cannot trust the legislature to do it for us. Obviously, they're going to screw us every time they can, just like with SB 5073. We can't depend on them. We just can't. So that's my solution. And we have been sending a lot of people that way. I haven't made t-shirts for this cause yet, but we will. This is some of the t-shirts we made. I saw a lot of these t-shirts down at the big rally on May 2nd in Spokane for cannabis patients. Even though we weren't there, physically, our shirts were all over, and I thought that was really cool. So we were there in spirit. But we're going to continue to fight for this cause, not only of cannabis legalization, but of legalizing freedom in general. It's very important to me. So, I've had some people complain and jab me here and jab me there, and we went back and forth on a few issues, but when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter. What does matter is freedom and liberty, and we're not going to get freedom and liberty by condoning this medical only bullcrap. Saying that it's medical only makes it sound like it should be regulated and it should be a scary thing, and we should protect our children from this medicine, and we should regulate it and all this other crap. I mean, I think that's just counterproductive. So I will not be supporting any groups that say cannabis is medical only. I will be supporting groups that are about full legalization and freedom and liberty, and that's it. That's the bottom line. So yeah, I do offer my opinion. Take it or leave it. I'm not meaning to offend any particular person. I'm just saying medical only, or let's regulate, or let's restrict it. All that is just garbage. It doesn't help the cause. It hurts the cause. One of these days, Pfizer's going to wrap their hands around it. And when Pfizer gets their money behind it, prohibition is going to be a lot stricter. Because we already have a bunch of money behind prohibition from our federal government. But when Pfizer and all these big pharma companies get their money behind it, yeah, watch out. They've already patented marijuana. The federal government patented marijuana as medicine. And let's wait for them to get a few more patents, huh? Nah, not a good idea.